I had a date with some chick that like flaked.
It was Rachel Nichols versus Molly Karam. Which one was better? And you put that in your Instagram story as a question. And it just happened that the girl's name was Molly.
Oh, are you joking?
That the girl like messages, replies to the story like, "What the f is this?" Like, and then she just blocks me as I'm on my way to like see her.
I see, he dropped me off at In-N-Out and then turns around and texts me like 10 minutes later. Goes, "Can you order me an In-N-Out burger?"
And you were just like, "You could have mine. It's
Whoa. We're not getting into this. We're not getting into an In-N-Out debate right now, bro.
And now it's trash." What's up, guys? Welcome to the Laced Up Podcast.
Are we being trolled right now, Mike? What the fuck?
Can I walk off right now?
Put that on a poster. Whoa! No, now it's just an all-star game right now.
You're such a bully.
You don't deserve LeBron James, all right? It's insane.
And you deserve exactly what happened to Chicago over the past decade.
So how'd you and your ex-girlfriend break up?
Bro!
Kidding.
Was it because you were bad at basketball?
Yeah.
Yes!
From Zion and Taylor in the one-handed flush.
I will lie to you and smack you. Yo, what the hell?
I get called out for my fandom. I get called a schmuck. What's going on, guys? My name is Mike. I'm here with another Mike in a coupe for the Laced Up Podcast and a special guest today, DBG. What's up, brother?
How are you, Mike? It's good to be on. Looking forward to this. So, Mike, your Lakers aren't doing too well, are they?
He's starting right off strong.
Oh, wow, you are fitting in perfectly because like most of this podcast is like just Coop and Mike bashing me for being a Laker fan, and honestly it couldn't be any worse after what happened to us last night. But we didn't have LeBron James, so I'm assuming that we didn't really try to beat the Chicago Bulls. We wanted to give them a little bit of false hope and some false confidence moving forward, and we'll see where we are at the end of the season.
You do realize they're in the other conference, don't you? And you're not ever face them in the playoffs. So,
well, I'm assuming that the Chicago Bulls are going to make it all the way to the NBA Finals. I was giving a compliment to Mike over here.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan is that good. That is what I've seen. So I feel like we could currently sum up the Lakers best by Anthony Davis's words, which is,
"We suck. No defense. Can't score. We got to get it together. Championship team. It's not us right now. Not winning a championship the way we're playing. That was embarrassing."
Yeah, the Lakers have been rather unfortunate with Russell Westbrook. I'm not going to lie, Mike. Watching the game last night, so Russ at times, of course, as we all know, unstoppable. At times, he's overpowering at the rim. He shot 0 for 6 from 3 last night, and every single time he took a 3, I was openly cheering. I was like, yes, let's do it, yes. Do you think Russell Westbrook and this team are going to get it together? Do you think with LeBron back, they are going to eventually improve? Because again, we said last podcast, I said at least last podcast, that I don't see this team being able to make the leap from where they are now to the best team in the NBA. I think they can improve. I think they could, definitely make themselves a playoff contender. I don't see them becoming the best. And I also would like to point out, Nikola Vucevic was not playing for the Chicago Bulls either. We have Tony Bradley starting at center. So the fact that Anthony Davis isn't going off against that front court for the Chicago Bulls, I feel like is a giant problem, to be honest.
That's not fair. I'm sorry, Mike. I just gotta go and defend you a little bit. That's not fair because the Bulls aggressively doubled Anthony Davis the whole game. Now, the Lakers just missed a lot of open shots. They weren't able to capitalize on that. 6 of 32 from the field's not going to, 6 of 32 from the three-point line is just not going to cut it. But the Bulls wanted somebody else to beat them other than AD, and
did you watch the game? He got literally kicked out and looked like he was happy. He took 9 shots.
Yeah,
total,
no, I did
9.
watch the game. He got kicked out on BS for one.
That's great. You can be aggressively doubled, but you still should be taking a lot more shots than that with the front court that's happening.
If the players around him aren't knocking down the shots, then I'm not really sure what you really want him to do. The best players are going to struggle with double teams if their team's shooting 18% from the three-point line.
And there's not that many. Outside Malik Monk, there's really not that many good shooters. I know Carmelo Anthony was hot for an entire 6 games, but he's not 2011 Melo again. No matter how good he looked in those 6 games, he's not 2011 Melo. It's 2021.
I agree, and I think and I hate to say this, but it's kind of becoming more and more obvious that the Lakers are going to have to do something aggressive in order to, I guess make this work. Because from the moment we traded for Russell Westbrook, I asked, how on earth is this going to work? Like, you need, for any system with LeBron James to work, he usually likes playing with a very talented all-star caliber or higher big man, power forward, be it Kevin Love, be it Chris Bosh, be it Anthony Davis, and he usually teams up with another very talented guard, be it Dwayne Wade, be it Kyrie Irving. So in this instance, though, first of all, when LeBron teamed up with Dwayne Wade in the early 2010s, Dwayne Wade wasn't necessarily known as a player that can knock down like threes on a consistent basis. He could periodically, but it wasn't necessarily known as a strength in his game. So for Russell Westbrook, you could go a step further. Shooting the three is an absolute weakness in his game. Even furthermore, LeBron and Russ, their strengths are very similar to each other, only LeBron could do a few more things, way more things than Russ can. So you pretty much have Russ just standing around trying to figure out how he could fit into the Lakers offense, very similarly to the way he did when he was on the Houston Rockets during their playoff run, just confused, not really knowing his role and whatnot. I think the only answer you have at this point, and it's going to be ridiculous, but you might need to consider moving Russell Westbrook to the bench. And have him play as a very, very high-end, super overpriced sixth man.
He won't do it. But like, that's the thing that people don't really remember looking back. Like, LeBron and Dwayne Wade didn't necessarily fit together. Like, Dwayne Wade in that last playoff run averaged like 14 points a game. Like, in 2011, the year when Dwayne Wade actually got his, Dwayne Wade, they lost. Like, Dwayne Wade and LeBron weren't the greatest fit, but it was just when the years they won championships, they surrounded those guys with Mike Miller, Shane Battier. Chris Bosh was a better shooter than Anthony Davis ever was, and Bosh became a three-point shooter. They had Mario Chalmers, who was a point guard, who all he did was shoot the ball. LeBron played the one. Whereas the Lakers, I get him, Malik Monk can kind of shoot the ball. But like, Wayne Ellington's not Mike Miller. They got Ray Allen as well. Like, the Lakers aren't necessarily surrounding them. If you had LeBron, AD, Westbrook, and a bunch of guys who shoot 40% from three, it might work. But like, it's not working with a bunch of slightly above average shooters around them.
Yeah, and with the Los Angeles Lakers, it's kind of a frustrating project to watch. So Anthony Davis gets ejected for the second time in his career. Tom, it would be awesome if we could get that clip. Also, like I said, like Korzimba said, he was doubled 15 times last night. The most of any game he's played with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's not necessarily something that he is used to seeing. All things considered, as poorly as the Lakers shot, he still dropped 20 points, 6 rebounds, and that was in 28 minutes. You know, who's to say he's not going for 30 if he's able to play a full game? But ultimately, you know, that definitely was not enough. Now, I would like to see some better sets from the Los Angeles Lakers, and I just think the doubles are going to work if Russell Westbrook is shooting 0 of 6 from the three-point line. If you don't have to account for him beyond the arc, teams are just going to double. We saw the same thing happen with the Houston Rockets, like FlightMike said, where guys would double James Harden, leave Westbrook wide open, and people would be like, well, why is Harden not doing anything? It's hard. It's tough.
Also, guys, while you're here, this podcast, Laced Up, is also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It would be awesome if you could go check us out there, follow us there, and leave us a review.
Yeah, so guys, we are capping off the giveaway to the first 40,000 subscribers that turn on our notifications for the Laced Up podcast. All you have to do to enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X is subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you want to do us a favor, leave a like on the pod and let me know in the comment section down below when it's done. You'll enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X.
Nah, I feel you. And, you know, I do, like, coming back, I do agree with you in terms of, like, what's he supposed to do if you are doubled that much. That's definitely yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, that's kind of on the Lakers, maybe, finding a way to get him more touches. I mean, I'm looking at the box score right now. 6 for 32 is always going to be rough. And then you're relying on guys like Wayne Ellington, who, I mean, Wayne Ellington is not one of those vets, like DBG said, that, a Ray Allen type that they had on those old Miami Heat teams. You know, Wayne Ellington is pretty washed up, I would say, at this point in his career. And
I mean, he's had a few very good shooting years, but like, is to say he just hasn't been consistent a lot in the last few years. And again, it's like Malik Monk. Malik Monk has been one of the most inconsistent players the last number of years. Like, I know he nearly led the league in 3-point percentage a couple of years ago. His top 10 was it last year. Like, if you look at like his box scores, like he will shoot 100%. And the next game he'll shoot 10% from three. Like,
yeah,
he's a consistently inconsistent shooter.
And that's definitely tough with I'd say the Lakers in general. First of all, nothing against Wayne Ellington, but you know, looking at him, he's around 34 years old. But so at this point, so yeah, you're relying on guys like that. Definitely with Lakers teams, yeah, for sure. Consistency is key. That's why Kyle Kuzma, he got kind of dragged by the fans last year because Kuzma was inconsistent as well, and consistency is definitely key for LeBron James teams. Now, I would ask all of you, Mike, you mentioned that the Lakers might need to make a move. I mean, at this point in time, what do they really do? Because right now, Russell Westbrook has a player option for his contract next year, and he's going to be making something like $47 million. So, that's tough. It's crazy because they could have possibly had Buddy. They could have had DeMar. I mean, DeMar was linked to the Lakers. Like, the fact that they could have had DeMar, I feel like is not being talked about enough.
I love DeMar DeRozan. Do they need another person who can't shoot threes?
Well, DeMar, you could run an offense through.
And DeMar has looked fine shooting the three.
Not AD inside.
DeMar's he's shooting 37%. 37%.
Yeah. He shoots threes now. He averaged 8 assists a game last year. He is actually like really someone like he's been incredible. As a Bulls fan, I did not expect this. I was happy with the signing.
Yeah.
But he's suddenly become like, people are saying now that this is the top free agent signing in the offseason. The top
Honestly,
move.
You could say this is the best version of DeMar. The most modern version. I don't want people to get mad at me, but he's looked amazing.
Is DeMar DeRozan the most underrated player of the last 10 years? Like, he's been, how many all-star teams he made? He's been on the best player or second best player, if you want to count Larry, on a consistent number 1/2 seed for most of the last 10 years. Like, he was the best player on a Spurs team that were competing for the playoffs by a mile. Like, he's actually had an unbelievably good career.
Yeah, DeMar has been unbelievably underrated. And I feel like when the Raptors won that championship, that the underratedness kind of just catapulted forward. Because, I mean, come on. They won a championship with Kawhi Leonard and not DeMar DeRozan. And so that kind of made everybody look at them, or at least some people look at DeMar as not maybe a winning player, a guy that takes a lot of bad shots. And I don't know, I feel like he's unfairly been judged for most of his career because at the end of the day, he's always been a needle mover. And in San Antonio, he took strides to get better. He took strides to fit in the Pop system, strides to make things work. And I think it doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah, I was actually I remember when he got traded to San Antonio, I thought that this was going to be like a turning point for DeMar's career. This was back when I still felt like Greg Popovich was like tremendous for player development, but he went to San Antonio.
He still is.
You see, he hasn't really developed anyone to like the extent of Kawhi Leonard recently, and I feel like he kind of failed DeMar DeRozan recently as well. But
Popovich?
I mean, Popovich has turned a team of low first-round picks into a playoff team.
Pop helped him with like his playmaking is much improved. I mean, I don't think it's really with Pop. I just think that San Antonio wasn't good the last few years. So DeMar went over there. Everyone kind of had San Antonio Spurs fatigue in that we've been watching them be an upper level team for how long? 20 plus years. And so as soon as they got bad, like no one really was going to watch. Like the thing about San Antonio was they were in that like bad middle ground of they were not a playoff team, but they also were not like full of young, exciting players. So like who was watching the San Antonio Spurs if we're all being honest, like not many.
The first year of the Spurs after the Kawhi trade, it wouldn't have been too far-fetched to say the Spurs could realistically have made the finals. They lost in Game 7 to Denver. And I think that Spurs team probably beats that Portland team in round 2. And then I think Pop beats the Warriors without Kevin Durant.
Wow.
So Korzimba,
He loves
DeMar
the
right
what-if
now.
team.
DeMar right now is number 5 on the what if. I mean, on the MVP ladder. DeMar DeRozan is currently ranked 5th.
Nuts. Third in the league in scoring.
That's unbelievable.
It's been 14 games. Okay, now I'm gonna give props.
We're starting
to
to get to a point where it's a sizable sample size. I mean, at least somewhat. Like the fact that he's making 37% of his threes, shooting 2.5 a game, like that's translating. And I'm interested to see how defenses react to the fact that he can shoot, because they are still watching the games. People are still hesitant to guard him from the 3-point line. Like last night, the ball got swung to DeMar in the corner, and AD like purposely didn't fully commit to the corner because he did not think DeMar was going to pull from 3, and DeMar, no hesitation, just knocked down a 3. Looked great. I'm excited. I mean, DeMar's looking awesome. Lonzo, 7 threes again last night, shooting over 44% from 3 on the year right now, has been an absolute sniper, just looking amazing. And favorite part of every single Chicago Bulls game is just watching Lonzo multiple times a game just look up the court and boom, we get a free 2 points. It happens like 3 times a game. He just finds guys up the court, and it's contagious. Other guys on the court do it too. Caruso does it. Zach last night, he did it to Lonzo. He looked up the court and found Lonzo for a layup. I mean, the Bulls both are playing really well. They were number 2 in the NBA's power rankings before beating the Lakers, and they play a very fun style of basketball, in my opinion. So it's been a great season for me.
So
let's be real. Let's be real. Your favorite part is every time Lonzo Ball hits a 3, it makes you seem less and less crazy about calling him Steph Curry with a 40-inch vert.
I retweeted it. So yeah, I tweeted out when he hit it 7 the first time. I was like something about that's like I tweeted out the thumbnail. And we're sitting on almost 10,000 likes on that one at this point because I mean, if Lonzo wants to start averaging 25 a game and make me look awesome, go ahead, Lonzo.
What's all your worst basketball takes that on YouTube? The worst video you've made a take on a person that's been so wrong. Like, obviously, Mike, the Lonzo Ball 40.
Yeah, I have to choose. I'll choose a second.
Like,
yeah, I'll choose a different one.
Yeah, like that's absolutely iconic. I just want to see my old days. I think mine might be
Giannis going to the Miami Heat. That's probably mine.
Everyone thought that was gonna happen.
I said Giannis Antetokounmpo re-signing with the Milwaukee Bucks was the biggest mistake of his entire career when he signed a supermax with the Milwaukee Bucks the year before he won an NBA championship.
He literally won a championship right now.
Yeah, he literally won a championship right like a year after.
Funny. That's good.
And let me see. Is there anything else? I'm sure there are. It's my current take. Actually, no. That's like the most egregious one. There's other ones that are currently in progress that I think I'm just hitting on. Like, I feel like the Suns made a mistake signing Chris Paul to.
Yeah, I think I had that one too.
Yeah,
I don't want to
it's
say
like,
mistake, but yeah.
I had Sekou Doumbouya should have been a top 5 pick in 2019.
Oh, I did not like that guy.
He was so nice, looked so nice in France.
He reminded me of gosh, what's the name of that guy from Dante Exum? He reminded me of a bigger Dante Exum. A guy that has all the tools.
If Dante Exum didn't get injured, he would have been so good. He just got crippled.
I disagree. He had hype, and I disagree. I never liked Dante Exum's game. He always had the body. He had not really the skill set, but he had the body, which is like half the battle. So.
Yeah. I would say mine probably Lauri Markkanen, I guess, unless I'm thinking of, because what I will say to everyone watching is that Thon Maker, I didn't say was going to win the MVP. I said Thon Maker says he's going to win the MVP. I will say that, like I spoke like highly like of like a potential of it, but in the video I was never like I think Thon Maker will win the MVP. I said Kevin Garnett says Thon Maker will win the MVP, and so does Thon himself. I'll take half credit for that one because I will admit I hyped him up. But Lauri Markkanen, I probably have commented somewhere that he could be a future 5 to 7 time All-Star. So that's got to be off.
So speaking of basketball takes and Lonzo Ball and all that good stuff, it really makes me mad as a New Orleans Pelicans fan that the Washington Wizards got Volume 2 of the Anthony Davis package, and they are currently sitting at 10 5-3 with the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Kyle Kuzma, KCP, and Montrezl Harrell have been absolutely unbelievable for the Washington Wizards. How are you guys feeling about this team? Do you think they are for real?
No.
No.
I like how no.
Their best player is spent. Like, you know what? They're very, very good in the regular season because they go 8 deep with 8 guys that are all solid NBA players. But the best players outside of Bradley Beal, like, they're winning games with Spencer Dinwiddie as their best player. Like, they're losing
Spencer
second
Dinwiddie is a
round.
baller. Like, Spencer Dinwiddie is solid. Don't underrate Spencer Dinwiddie, the
He
Bitcoin
is,
god.
but I mean, are we talking, by for real, are we talking about win a ring? Like, we're talking about win a playoff series, then yeah, fair enough. They have a chance of doing that. They're not coming out of the East.
I don't see them winning a playoff series either, to be honest, and that'll anchor some people that want us to talk about the Washington Wizards. Listen, I think the Washington Wizards are having an incredible story to the season. Awesome start, 10-3. Bradley Beal, doesn't want to give up on the team, and now boom, they're 10-3. It looks awesome. All credit to the Wizards. All credit to that entire team for 3 of them getting traded from the Lakers and all looking like they should be still there. But sorry, Mike. Yeah, so all credit to them, but I just can't. I like looking at that roster. Like, I agree. I just don't think it's a strong enough roster to advance past the first round. I don't think it's a strong enough roster to really make a run at anything, but I do think that, they've been playing really well, and it's a great story to begin the year.
They haven't really. Go ahead.
I think they win a playoff series.
Really? Because. Sorry. Keep
No,
going.
go. No, go.
Well,
If you
he
have
said they think I win a playoff series. I mean, if we just reading like the teams in the East that they would have to beat, that means they would either have to take down the Bulls, the Nets, the Knicks,
won't.
the Sixers, the Bucks, the Hawks. One of those teams they're going to be matched up against.
If they end up as the top 2 seed, they're probably playing the Cavs, the Hornets,
All right,
the Celtics,
if
or the
that
Raptors.
happens,
They can
I don't
beat any
think
of
that's
those
gonna
guys.
I don't
They-
think that's going to happen, and I think with the playing
I think they
game,
could beat the
they're gonna be
Hawks.
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, now I think you guys are freaking wild, and I think the Hawks have a slow start to the season, but I still think the Hawks.
No,
are
I
good.
mean, I love the Hawks. I'm just
So do
saying,
I,
I
but
think
they
there's a
could.
chance that they could win. I think there's a chance.
I will
You have
respectfully
to
disagree.
also take into account that they're not 100% right now. Like you said, Bradley Beal didn't play the last game. Thomas Bryant is out. Davis Bertans is out, and Rui Hachimura has not been with the team. And Rui is really good. Rui looks like a guy that can be a star going forward. Absolutely knows how to put the ball in the basket, can guard multiple positions, and he's long. He's like your prototypical forward that you want in the NBA. So this team is incredibly deep. And Denny Avdia, this guy's been an absolute lockdown. He's been, I mean, if you guys watch the Pelicans game when he picked up Brandon Ingram absolutely struggled to get any sort of quality look.
Denny is an unbelievable defender. Denny was an unbelievable defender in Europe, but because he's white and European, everyone's like, oh, he won't be able to play defense. I'm not gonna say anything else. They just
Yeah.
they were all like, oh yeah, this guy, he's a 6'9" point guard, unbelievable passer. They basically gave him the scouting report saying he was Luka Doncic when he was clearly not
I
Luka Doncic.
hated that. It's like, oh yeah, talented European guy that plays forward. Let's just call him the next coming of Luka Doncic.
The next Dirk.
Yeah.
How many next Dirks we had? Or how many next we then had Porzingis, and then Dragan Bender, the next Porzingis. The year after,
Mirotic.
Larry
That's
Markkanen,
another
the
bad
next
pick.
Porzingis.
That was another. I also thought Mirotic was going to be great.
No,
but
Mirotic was great.
Mirotic was great.
To be fair-
Yeah, he was really good
No,
with
I
the
thought he was going to be
Pelicans.
better than he was. I thought he was going to be
Oh,
all-star
man.
level. But then,
He
to
looked-
be
He could
fair,
have been an all-star.
He looked like he could have
Focus
been an
on Spain.
all-star. Yeah,
all
he
right.
looked really
I mean,
good.
whatever. If you guys want to agree with me, then that's fine. That was my take, but that I was wrong on. So
No, I'll give
if
you
you guys
that. He
want
could
to
have.
let me off the hook.
He looked so good with the Pelicans. Like, oh man,
He was
Him
so
and Anthony
hyped up coming into the
Davis.
NBA. That's where I was like I was on, the Bulls Reddit or the Bulls forum or whatever at the time. And, it was like, oh, Mirotic is coming over. People would post, every single time he played. I was watching his games. I don't watch, overseas basketball much, but I was watching Mirotic play every now and then.
He's a beast. The thing with him was always consistency. He would be one of the most frustrating Inconsistent players in the league. But when he was hot, boy, would he get hot. Absolutely.
We talked about it. He lost the Bulls, Luka Doncic. I mean, I'll never forgive him.
What do you mean by he lost the Bulls, Luka Doncic?
The season headed into Luka's draft, literally, like, the Bulls went like something. I don't know the exact stats, but it was something like the Bulls went like 14-14 when Mirotic played, and like had a winning percentage of like 20% when he didn't. He was so good for them that they had to trade him away. It was when him and Bobby Portis got into that fight.
Yeah, I was going to say Bobby Portis should have just knocked him out.
Yeah, he was
Bobby
so
Portis
good that they
clearly
had
hit
to trade him to the Pelicans because he was winning too many games for us, and it's a whole thing. I mean, also, you know, I've already talked about it. You guys have seen. Basically, the Bulls won a coin flip in that draft that if they had lost the coin flip and gotten worse playoff seeding, they would have gotten the number 2 pick, because they had a coin flip with the Kings that they won, but they got more ping pong balls. And because of that, they did not get the number 2 pick. And
you would have drafted Bagley.
No, they wouldn't have. They were the front. No, that's not
go.
true at all. That's so not true. The front office, first of all, Garpax was obsessed with Europeans. Second of all, they loved Luka. I mean, we had Lowry on the team too. They loved Europeans.
Yeah. I was about to say,
Mirotic, Lowry Markkinen, like they loved overseas guys.
Like anyone who thought Luka Doncic was going to be a bust did not watch Luka Doncic. Like, Luka Doncic in Eurobasket was on the all-tournament team. There were NBA All-Stars that played in that tournament that didn't make the all-tournament team. Luka Doncic was the second best player on Slovenia after Goran Dragic, who was an All-Star in 2018.
So, yeah, so actually this could provide a unique perspective, I feel like. You know, were you watching like Luka play at the time? Like, were you watching his actual regular season games, playoff games, you know, the EuroLeague, all of that?
Yeah, I watched almost. Not the last year I watched a bit. The year before he got drafted, I watched a little bit. But the year before that, there used to be a like free channel in Ireland called Sky Sports Mix, where they showed all the EuroLeague games. So everyone watched Luka. Everyone that I knew in basketball watched every Luka Doncic game when he was like 16 playing for Real Madrid, because it's unheard of that there's a 16-year-old playing for Madrid. So it's like they'd be on, and suddenly in my like basketball team group chat, someone posts Luka Doncic is playing Sky Sports Mix right now. Everyone watched him. And that's why is Luka Doncic the best prospect since LeBron James? The very first Luka hype video came from me, like.
Yeah, absolutely. So while you were watching, and what was like, so you mentioned how, you know, rare and unique it was. What was like, you know, the general consensus public reaction of him? Did everyone believe that he was going to be an NBA star? Like, were people waiting for him to, you know, take the leap over? And what were your own personal thoughts?
I don't think anyone thought he was going to be this good.
Okay.
Like, the general thing was that he was arguably the best 18-year-olds ever. Like, that, I don't think that was a crazy statement to have made. Like, that's a statement that I made. He was the best player at his age there ever was. But at the same time, Rubio was up there. Like, Ricky Rubio at 17 played 36 minutes in the Olympic final and outplayed Chris Paul. Chris Paul after his almost MVP year.
I'm making a video on this. Don't mention it. Just continue.
Like, Rubio at 7 is arguably the best 17-year-old basketball player to ever live. He just kind of teetered off. Everyone knew Doncic was going to be better than Rubio, but I don't think, like, I called him being an all-star as a rookie, and then, like, kind of ending his career, or having, like, peaking at, like, 23, 24 points, maybe 8 or 9 assists, 6 or 7 rebounds. Nobody thought he was going to be freaking 30-point triple-double for a month in his second season.
Wow, I don't know if I can call them the best. Those guys, the best 17 or 18-year-olds ever, but they're definitely
what
in
other
the
17-year-old
conversation.
can play in 34 minutes in an Olympic final against the Redeem team and look like the third best player?
I definitely think that Zion Williamson would have been able to do something.
No, that's ludicrous. That is crazy.
No,
that is absolutely crazy.
You don't think Zion could have played in the NBA at 17?
He could have played in the NBA at 17. He could not have played against the Redeem team and outplayed the best players on the Redeem team.
I think that he could have played against the Redeem team.
No!
And the same with LeBron James.
You're telling me he could have outplayed LeBron
I'm
James
not saying
in an Olympic final at 17.
But I definitely think he could have played.
But Rubio was as good as outplayed Chris Paul.
I think here's the major difference here is that, like, if you took Zion, if you took LeBron, if you took those guys, and, you know, you had them grow up in a different country where now they're, you know, playing under those set of rules. Now, once you get to the Olympics, you're used to that set of rules and you're used to that, which, you know, always plays in favor of other countries. So someone like Ricky Rubio, after that Team USA whole experience, like walked away. People were convinced he was like the next Pistol Pete.
He couldn't shoot. I don't know where that comparison came from.
Yeah, but that was like I think it came from Bill Simmons, honestly. I think Bill Simmons was heavily touting Ricky Rubio as like, you know, the next like great point guard. I just think like, yeah, I mean, like I agree with DBG in that I feel like if you were to take Zion and just drop him over there, it would be really hard because he has to adjust to all of the rules and everything. But, you know, growing up in that culture where you're playing against grown ass men, like, you know, yeah, in like AAU, you play up, but you don't play against 30-year-olds. You know, you're not playing against 32-year-old guys. Like, it's just a whole different culture.
Yeah, you're probably right about that because again, like Zion, LeBron, those guys, if you had have told them at 16 they were allowed playing the NBA if they wanted to, after 3 years in the NBA, they'd be a lot better than they actually were as rookies at the same age.
I mean,
and that's the thing with Rubio. Rubio was playing against pros when he was 16.
Zion came in unbelievable, man. I just have a hard time seeing that. I mean, high school Zion's probably like peak Zion too, honestly.
No, but yeah, but like think about Dame this year in the Olympics, and it was Dame. You know, I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
it's just like adjusting to that game. It's a whole different.
I think if Zion knows he's the guy for a national team, and I think that if he played somewhere else, the same with LeBron James, of course. I agree
with that.
Let's go to LeBron. Let's go to LeBron. Forget Zion. I'm Pelicans.
No, we agree Zion. If he did that,
but
it's just like if he grew up in America.
Someone from playing.
I'm saying even like LeBron as he was at 17 or 18.
But LeBron played in the 2004 Olympics and was terrible. He played after his rookie season. And I know he didn't play that many minutes, but he wasn't good when he played.
But that's different. He wasn't LeBron James yet. He wasn't like the focal point of the team.
That's the point we're making. We're not arguing. We have enough evidence to show that Ricky Rubio is never going to be LeBron. But 17-year-old Ricky Rubio was probably as good.
If you give me 17 Rubio and 17-year-old LeBron, I'm taking LeBron. That's as simple as I can make that.
If you're asking me who I've taken on a elite level team in an Olympic final, I'm taking.
Okay, but who would you put in the NBA? Why are we just holding it to the Olympics? Who would you put in the NBA?
Because wait, I feel like Coop, he's just only talking about the Olympics.
I'm only talking.
Oh, you're talking about the greatest Olympic player? If you're talking about the greatest Olympic players ever,
I'm talking about like if you were to have like at any game in an NBA Finals game, I would take a 17-year-old Ricky Rubio over high school.
I'm taking LeBron.
So I have a question. All right, let's not talk about the Olympics. Let's just talk strictly the NBA. If you had to choose between 3 years of LeBron James in the NBA or 10 years of Luka Doncic in the NBA, which one would you take?
10 years of Luka Doncic.
10 years of Luka.
Well, what 3 years of LeBron are we getting? I mean, the answer is 10 years of Luka Doncic, but
you're getting 3 years of Miami Heat LeBron James versus 10 years of the Luka Doncic we've seen from the moment he's drafted and as he develops into the future. So, because like, let's just think of it this way: you could either draft Luka Doncic, just like the Dallas Mavericks did, or LeBron James decides to sign with your team and construct a roster the same way he did with the Lakers and the Cavaliers.
Are you in a big market? Because if you draft Luka Doncic to a big market, you can do a LeBron and just attract all the best role players and win a ring very easily.
It's a fair follow-up question.
I mean, Luka Doncic is currently, we'd say Dallas is a big market. Am I right? No, Dallas is a fairly large market.
When was the last time Dallas got a free agent?
Really.
Chandler Parsons is the biggest free agent in the last 10 years.
What free agents do they get? And if its answer is not much, then
I'm just saying in terms of when I think big market, small market, I don't think who's the most likely to attract free agents. I'm thinking more along the lines of who marketability and whatnot. And Dallas, if you go to Dallas, you're fairly well known in the space for the most part.
Yeah, but he meant like, are you able to use like the advantages of an LA, or a Miami and attract talent like LeBron did in the past? Because LeBron wasn't attracting talent to Cleveland. You know, like he had like he wasn't bringing over stars to Cleveland. He went to Miami to attract the talent.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Everyone's going to say, Kevin Love went to Miami okay, that was a trade. Okay, I'm saying free agents for the comments. Free agency wise, the second run, like LeBron never attracted like a star free agent,
Darren Williams,
all-star, like
I'm kidding.
his prime.
Yeah,
I said in his prime.
I don't.
I said in his prime. I'm not talking about Dwayne Wade, Isaiah Thomas. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could even make an argument that someone wanted to leave Cleveland and Kyrie Irving. I don't know. Like, I feel like Dallas has a little bit more appeal than Cleveland. Let's just assume that your team is the Dallas Mavericks, right? Like, if there is more appeal than a Cleveland, but obviously less appeal than a Miami. Am I right? So, like, yeah, at the very worst, you get a nice little tax break and great barbecue. And, like, I'm from Dallas. I absolutely love it there. So, yeah, which one would you guys rather have?
10. If Luka can attract the players around him, because, like, obviously, if your 10 years of Luka is 10 years where your next best player is Tim Hardaway Jr., you're not really getting much. But, like, if you're 10 years of Luka, if suddenly you actually can get a co-star, like, you put Luka on those Miami Heat LeBron teams, they still probably win a ring, prime Luka. Well, at least one of those four.
I don't know. I feel like Luka is a little bit more difficult to play with than LeBron James, in my opinion. I mean, I know everyone was memeing Kristaps Porzingis this past year, but I feel like LeBron would have at least been able to make it work with Kristaps a little bit better than Luka has been doing with Kristaps so far. And that could just be a testament to just him being young and his youth, but that's at least my opinion.
Same thing happened with Bosch, though. Bosch went from being 20-something point per game scorer to a 13-point game scorer. It's just Bosch actually knuckled down and played defense for Miami and did stuff. Porzingis is just like, no, if I'm not scoring, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Bosch went with the Larry Bird role of, Larry's whole thing was, if I'm not scoring on this given night, I'm going to crash the boards. I'm going to make, I'm going to make every effort to impact the game positively in other aspects. I'm not sure how much I fully Porzingis. It's tough because he did go from, he was the man in New York and all of that to now he's suddenly the second guy. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's on Porzingis' ego. I don't know. I go back and forth on this because also sometimes I'm like, maybe he's just not touching the ball enough as well. Like if I was in his shoes, how would I feel?
Porzingis was literally like Luka before Luka in terms of hype, not in terms of play style, but like he was in a large market. Everyone was obsessing over him. So yeah, we've talked about it before that it might have been a little bit hard for him to go from the top guy in a pretty bad organization to the second guy behind like the next European transcendent star and Luka. If you ask me, I would probably take the 3 years of LeBron James, because there's no way that if you have LeBron James for 3 years, he won't win you at least one championship or at least get you to the finals.
Do you think that LeBron James, if you put prime LeBron James on the current Dallas Mavericks team, that they make a finals? And you send him to Dallas as well? I don't think they do.
And
prime
stand
LeBron right now in the Western Conference?
I think so.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I would have them as the favorite, right?
With Tim Hardaway Jr. as the second best player.
You could put me out there. He's taking us to the finals.
I mean, he still has Porzingis. Like, I feel like LeBron makes that work better with Porzingis as his second option. Because I will say, okay, do they have similar stats? Yes, but like when you look at their play styles, like dramatically different in terms of like,
Prime
Luka,
LeBron was a DPOY guy too. I mean, this guy's the best. You can make an argument, the best basketball player to ever live. I feel like somewhere along the lines, people forgot exactly how good and how dominant that prime LeBron was. You give him guys with NBA talent, they're going to the finals. Yeah, I mean, he did it so long for a reason.
I agree and I don't agree. It's like none of those were easy. Like he scraped past the Pacers in 2012 and 13.
The Pacers were a good team.
Yeah, they were, but that's what I mean. Where it's like there's good teams in the West.
That Pacers team is really deep.
Yeah, but so I mean, I guess like I do agree with that argument, but I also agree with like the best players are gonna find a way, and sometimes having the best player on the floor is what matters, because same thing happened with Michael Jordan. Looking back, like Michael Jordan, squeaked past the Knicks in 7 games, in one of his championship runs. I mean, there were times where Jordan
LeBron had Mo Williams looking like an all-star. Jalen Brunson's averaging 15 this season. Might average 20 with Bron.
I just think that people overestimate, as much as one player does make the difference. Outside of 2018, every team that's ever made the finals in the last 25 years has been pretty stacked.
Yeah, well, that's why LeBron James is the exception, not the rule.
That was the worst Eastern Conference in history. They beat a team whose best player was a rookie in the finals.
Was that the
finals.
year? Wait, 2018. Was that when Gordon Hayward broke his leg to start the year?
Yeah, and then Kyrie missed playoffs.
Yeah,
On top of that, Tatum was a monster. Tatum was a monster in that series.
I said that the Celtics could have easily made the finals, and a Coop came at my neck.
I didn't come at your neck. You attacked me, and
No,
I remember-
yes, you did. You attacked me.
They were 3-2 up in the conference semis without their two best players. How could they have... How are you attacking someone for saying that they could have
No, you
made
don't
it?
even know the context of the situation. You can't take sides yet.
DBG, I'll send you the context, and you will see.
I'll tell him the context. The context was
we can just show him the context.
No, he was saying what if, and I was like, at the end of the day, those what ifs like don't really matter. And then
Oh
we
my
got in an
God.
argument about what ifs. It wasn't about if they would do it or if they wouldn't do it. It was about the what ifs. I don't like how he tried to change history right there. That wasn't my argument.
That's what
It was about the what if. That's
We'll
what
show
it was
DBG.
about.
You know what? I'm gonna send him the clip.
DBG,
Yeah,
don't waste
yeah,
your time. It's an argument
what
about
ifs?
what ifs.
Yeah, it's not.
That's like saying, what if LeBron James and Dwayne Wade didn't do the chest bump celebration in 2011 and let Dallas make that huge comeback in Game 4? Would have been 3-1 up and they win the ring. Like, what ifs don't matter?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
That wasn't.
Damn, bro.
Yet again, I wasn't saying what if. I literally said that was a Celtics team that could have made the finals if Gordon Hayward didn't break his leg in the first game. That's literally what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I think Kyrie
That's
missing
what
was
incited
probably
a
bigger.
riot.
Yeah, the Corzimba riot, the one man riot.
I mean, honestly, man, something that like I feel like, and you have to bear in mind, I am not a LeBron James stan. As a matter of fact, before he was a Laker, I actually was a bit of a LeBron James hater. But some things that people just don't give the man credit for is the man literally came onto the Cleveland Cavaliers and in his second year started contributing like 14 wins. His third year, like 16 win shares. And when you look at Luka, like, you know, his first season, he contributed something like 4. I think in his rookie year, he contributed something like 5 wins. Then his sophomore year, like 8.8. Then his third year, 7.7. So like, I'm not saying that Luka isn't like amazing or transcendent or anything like that, but LeBron James and what he was able to do for those Cleveland Cavalier teams earlier on in his career is something that we might never see again, and something that I feel like is personally really, really underrated, and like people don't give him enough credit for. Like the teams that he took to the finals, shouldn't have been there to begin with, and I don't think Luka Doncic could do that kind of stuff with at least so far, based off of what I've
LeBron,
seen.
like, Luka's not going to be LeBron. Like, Luka's not going to be in the GOAT conversation. As much as I love Luka, he won't be.
Also,
Within 10 years' time, Luka Doncic is going to be a fat power forward.
Also,
I'm
I
telling
think
you
there
right
is
now.
something to be said that if we saw LeBron James in today's NBA, prime LeBron James, we see what current LeBron's doing. If we saw prime LeBron in a 5-out system with spacing, nobody's stopping him. I think the averages and numbers would look far better than they did early on in his career.
I did want to say that. I thank you for bringing that up, Coop, because especially because in the last 2 to 3 years, specifically, numbers like skyrocketed in terms of stats. So like you did have, you know, Luka's like almost like 30-point triple-double basically for a season. And then if you look back at LeBron's, you know, early season stats, if you were to like adjust them to the pace of today, because there's just more offensive possessions, more scoring, and better shooting, at least in the last 2 seasons. This season's been a little weird with fouls and everything, but yeah, I have no idea what LeBron's stats would be. They'd be absurd. I'm sure he would
ridiculous.
average a triple double.
LeBron would have averaged a 30-point triple double.
Yeah, I think
he'd
he
have
pushed
at least
35.
one season of a
I
30-point
think
triple
he
double.
pushed 35.
Yeah, like he's like LeBron's arguably he's 1A, 1B. Like the Jordan LeBron debate will never end, but in my opinion, he's 1A, 1B and the greatest players to ever play.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. My thing is, you know, like it is. I feel like at this point, as basketball continues, hopefully we just, you know, just go with like they're the greatest player of the era. Probably will never happen. People will probably always want to anoint a greatest. Let's see where the discussion with LeBron and Jordan is in 20 years, because, you know,
it's gonna be
right
it's
now
gonna be a
we're
case of
working with
every
recency bias, though. You know, just whoever's playing right now is gonna always have the advantage. If Michael Jordan was playing right now, he'd have the advantage over LeBron.
But I mean, the current players in every sport they're just better. Like, you learn from previous people. Like,
yeah, no,
like,
I agree. Talent wise, yes. So that's what makes it hard too, because then you're like, okay, talent wise, like you take this guy and put him in a time machine, and then bring him forward to here. Like, how does he play?
But like talent wise, the 12th man on a random NBA team would have been an all-star 30 years ago. Like,
so it's really funny. Have you seen that? You guys all know the meme where Michael Jordan from The Last Dance, they say, where he says, "I took that personally." Did you guys see what happened with him and Kanye West?
With Michael Jordan and Kanye West?
Yeah, Michael Jordan and Kanye West. So apparently Kanye West, and bear in mind, Kanye's from Chicago, and like you guys heard, he really, really like holds Chicago near and dear to his heart. I'm sure you guys heard Homecoming before. And so as a result, I'm assuming, obviously, growing up, when Kanye was growing up, Michael Jordan was obviously was like the biggest man in sports, especially him being from Chicago. Now, in 2015, Kanye West dropped I think The Life of Pablo, in 2015. And there was a lyric where Kanye goes, "Yeezy just jumped over Jumpman." And as a result, like, according to Kanye, Michael Jordan will not meet with him anymore. Like, over the past 6 years, these two guys, like, Michael Jordan will not talk to Kanye. So the direct quote is, Michael Jordan still won't meet with me. I'm trying to meet with Michael Jordan, and I'm like, it's a song, man.
Wait, that happened? Wait, and so, like, this is recently he's been saying hasn't been able to talk to him?
Yeah, recently. And apparently Michael Jordan said this thing like, "Why are you guys acting like Virgil made me hot? These shoes is hot." So, like, it's
That's
it's
a
actually,
weird beef.
Yeah, it's like the most Michael Jordan beef I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's like your uncles
time.
arguing.
Yeah. Kobe did something like similar, but it was because Drake kind of came after his wife in a way. Because
How?
remember, like, during the whole, remember Kobe goes, "Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym." When he said that, like, Kobe about to lose 150 M's. I wish it didn't have to be him. And then he goes, "Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym." And Stay Scheming with Rick Ross. And like, so he was like, "Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym," being like, "You're about to take my 150 million and I'm the one that put in the work." But Kobe didn't get divorced. Kobe stayed with his wife. And so Kobe was seen, ignoring Drake in person and stuff.
Vanessa says, "I love when immature kids quote a rapper that has never been friends with Kobe and knows nothing about our relationship. Just shows how gullible they are. I don't need to be in the gym. I'm raising our daughters, signing checks, and taking care of everything else that pertains to our home life. But thanks for your concern over an immature quote. I really wish people would stop and think and then realize that they are being sucked into someone's clear intention to monetize and gain attention off of our family's heartache. This is real life. I hold down our home life so my husband can focus on his career. It's a partnership. Since my husband isn't friends with Drake, we received a text of an apology forwarded from his manager. It's done and over with, and now it's time for people to think before speaking." Man,
Kobe was pissed. Kobe was, I'm positive I saw. Now, I cannot fully say that, when Kobe passed, RIP Kobe, and this is our 24th episode, but when Kobe passed, that, he still felt this way about Drake, but I know for sure that there were multiple times, like at the All-Star game or something, I'm pretty sure, or it's something, a bunch of players, were talking to Drake and stuff, and Kobe just blew by him and completely ignored him.
Wow. So also shout out to Kanye while we're here for dropping Song of the Year, Life of the Party. If you guys haven't heard it, Andre 3000, Kanye. Always a good time. So DBG, tell us a little about yourself. How did you get started on YouTube? How's the 2K scene looking? And where do you see yourself going for the future? I remember you told us that you had a basketball channel. I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so started off on YouTube. So in Ireland, we have, in our high school, secondary school, the only thing that matters, nothing matters up until your final year. And then nothing matters in your final year up until one set of exams you do in June. And then every single person in the country sits these one set of exams, exact same tests, and you get scored in a point system, and however many points you get, you end up going to college. So
Oh wow.
I basically just focused on that, playing a bit of ball here and there.
So you did basketball and YouTube and school all at one time?
No, as soon as I finished that,
Oh, okay.
I was
As
so
soon as you
stressed out
finished.
because I did pretty well. For any Irish people, I got 525 in it, which was like top
Yeah.
6% in the country.
Nice.
It's out of 600. It was like top 6%. But I was so stressed out after that I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to work a job in the summer.
Bro.
But our summers are 3 months. After 1 month, I was like, I'm so bored. Bought an Elgato, literally just because I was playing 2K like 8 hours a day. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to start making videos on 2K to at least do something productive. 2 years, no traction. Then within 6 months, it became a full-time job.
How many videos do you have on your channel? Because you said productive. I don't think the whole audience watching right now understands exactly how productive you've been. I've been following your channel for a minute, and your work rate is off the charts.
Yeah, like between all the channels, like including private videos, like 6,500.
Yeah. And so guys, what's the most videos you've uploaded in one day? Because I've seen I feel like over
20.
12. Yeah. So, yeah.
When the launch day of 2. But in fairness, like that's launch day where so many of those videos are like, this is how you unlock the auction house. Stall for 8 minutes, come up with an answer, hit record, stop record, upload, make thumbnail. Like I could record 3 of those in an hour. So like it was 20 hours. I did work for 20 hours straight, but it's
still, that's still a
Yeah,
lot.
that's-
Still
it's
20 videos.
absurd.
Like, not everyone's doing that at all.
Yeah, I mean that's so impressive. So, do you stream right now too? Are we gonna catch you on
I stream
Twitch?
occasionally on Twitch.
Is that something you want to do more of?
I don't know. I'll see how it goes. I really do, but like I don't like playing 2K.
Ooh.
Like later on in the year, I'll stream a lot more, but like it's just dead season right now. Like
Really?
it's later in the year.
How is it? So tell me how that works. When is the hottest time for 2K?
When 2K start giving 99 overalls to everybody.
Seriously, that's like the worst time in my opinion.
Oh my god, that's when I stopped playing 2K.
Yeah.
Like when I would
Yeah,
do
but it's
my
when all
team.
the kids start playing 2K. Like I'm averaging on stream, on like my content streams, I'm averaging like 700 viewers at the minute on content streams. In like March, April, I'll be averaging 4,000 on those same streams.
Really?
Doing the exact same thing. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
What,
Interesting.
What is the most outrageous 2K card that they have made, in your opinion? I'm pretty sure I saw a card where they gave Ben, my team card. I'm pretty sure I saw a card where they gave Ben Simmons a jump shot. Like Ben
Oh,
Simmons.
actually,
think-
yeah. Wait.
You
So,
think
wait.
that's bad? You think
Yeah,
that's bad?
Yeah.
really-
Wait. What is the most? I would say. What is the most overpowered? I want a two-parter here. So first off, what is the most overpowered my team card that you've ever seen?
99 every stat tackle fall.
Oh my!
And was that when was that?
Bruh.
Last year.
Yeah. That was the best. So that was the best my team card. How long have you been playing my team?
It's hard to judge because we had like 75 cards at least. We probably had over 100 cards that are 95 plus in every single stat. So
Yeah.
it's hard because like back in the day, you remember the pink diamond locker code cards and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like back in those days, those cards were like 90 in every stat. But because no other cards were good, they were the best cards we'd ever seen. But now because there's 100 cards with 99 every stat, every card is just the same thing. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So for the game though, so because those are all 99, okay, now 199 isn't as overpowered as like if you were to drop that 99, for instance, in like 2K16 or something. Like I remember personally when they were dropping, I'm not sure what the card level was, but I think it was Diamond, like J.R. Smith when they did that.
2K16.
Yes. I remember when they had like a
God.
Diamond J.R. and that card was just
He was so
unreal.
good.
And I forget what all the cards were. I think there was a Kevin Love was one of them who.
Kevin Love, Luis Scola.
Yeah,
Jamal
Luis Scola
Crawford.
was the one. Did they ever release him? I feel like I
No.
remember the backlash was so bad that they cut Luis Scola. They were gonna release him. That's so funny. Okay, so with that in mind, so like let's say just because that 96 overall J.R. Smith wouldn't be as good in last year's game, but in that current like version he was so good because he was very rare and he was just so much better than the other cards. So with that in mind, what like one card stands out to you across the 2Ks? Is there one?
I might say either Silver Zach LaVine.
Really?
Yeah, from 2K15. If you play 2K15, you remember Silver Zach LaVine. Or in NBA 2K19, there were 3 cards in that game that kind of defined it. There was a 99 every stat Giannis, but in 2K19, not every card in 99 every stat. So the 99 every stat Giannis is probably number 1. Or there was a Hito Turkoglu card that came out.
Oh yeah.
And
I actually remember that one.
It made Dom 2K quit playing my team. He would run because he had this release called Base 11, where all you had, if you were taller than your opponent, they couldn't contest it. So because he was 6'10", had Base 11, had the best dribbling in the game, everyone just used Hito as their main man. There were 99 overall cards. Didn't matter. Hito Turkoglu was better than all of them.
That's hilarious. And were you running Hito?
A point guard, of course I was.
Oh my gosh! So they
I
still
was
have.
I was the first. I was that cheeser. I was the first person ever to be. I was like the first person on YouTube back when it was like shunned, and it was like, no, you have to use point guard as a point guard. I was like, screw this. Why would I handicap myself? LeBron, you're going point guard.
So there's still no
I was the
position
original person to do
locks.
that.
There's still no position locks. You could put Taco Fall at point guard if you
No,
wanted to.
there is, but there are out of position cards, so you can.
Oh,
basically,
okay.
We got 20
Yeah.
LeBrons last year. You could play LeBron 1 through 99 LeBron 1 through 5 last year. There were just different versions.
Yeah, they eventually release those kind of cards. Okay, very interesting. Also, okay, so follow up on that. So that's the most overpowered MyTeam card. Now, getting back maybe into, your members, when did you start playing 2K in general?
2K was probably like 2K11 was the first 2K I ever
Really?
played because NBA Live was finished. Back in Ireland, you used to they didn't sell 2Ks until like 2K13 here.
Really?
Like you could only buy NBA Live in most
Wow.
countries in Europe. You couldn't
Yeah,
buy
I
2K.
gave up on live way before 11. Like I was definitely like 2K like 7, 8, not like 6 maybe even. But what one player in NBA 2K is way better in the game than they were in real life?
Basically, it's anyone who is fast could shoot threes and dunk. So Gerald
Yeah.
Green.
Gerald
Like
Green?
Gerald Green, Terrence Ross, or tall players with 3-point shots. So in some years, Hito Turkoglu.
That's
And
your
obviously in
guy?
my team, when everyone gets 99 stats, it doesn't matter. Like Sim Vular was the second best card in the game last year. Or Sim Vular 2K16, that bronze card.
Yeah, I remember Sim. That was because I think back in 2K16, you had to have a bronze lineup right in
Yeah.
the beginning. So like back in 2K16, they did have a thing where you had to play like all bronze cards in your like first, like as you went through the, what's it called?
It was Road to the Playoffs.
Yeah, so as we went to road to the playoffs, like you like progressively were able to play like, okay, now silver and gold and stuff. Like you weren't able to just play your best team right away. So Simbular was like, how tall is he?
7'5".
Yeah, he's like 7'5", and he was a bronze card, so he was just in OP center. I agree. So I agree with you in the Gerald Green. My personal favorite, and I will always say this in 2K, was Shannon Brown. Was unreal.
He was another fast shooter.
Yeah, he could dunk, and he was so unreal for me.
Have you played the last few? Have any of you guys played any MyTeam the last few years?
Yes, I played my team a decent amount last year. Not on camera. It would just be something that I would just, if I was really bored, just play.
If you don't, I would not play it. If I were you, I would not play it this year. They brought in SBMM into the game, and it's the worst thing ever.
So
I got a skill-based matchmaking into 2K?
I have a 50% win rate, and I just keep matching against professional players.
Are you joking? They really brought in skill-based
matchmaking in the 2K. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Like I'm literally sitting there like I have a series called
That's
Road
not
to
the
Gary
future.
Payton. Road to Gary Payton. And I'm losing my mind. I'm sitting there playing a game. I'm like, okay, I have a 50% win rate. I'm good. It flashes on screen. So a name, and I'm like, he's a professional player. He already has the reward. He's already completed it. Like, and he matches up with me, and I'm like, come on. I'm getting messages after a game being like, there's like tiers, and I'm like in like the amethyst tier, which is like the middle tier, and then you have to go all the way to Galaxy Opal, and then when you beat Galaxy Opal, you go into this thing called the Showdown tier, where you have to play a bunch of games. You're only meant to be playing sweats in the Showdown tier, but I keep matching up against people that are like 37-0 in the Showdown tier. They've won. They're like 98% win rate. I have a 50% win rate, and they're like, oh yeah. The only reason I keep getting matched up with them is because they never blow me out. Anytime like it's a neck and neck ball game, I sometimes beat them, they sometimes beat me. But I'm like, every game is against someone that has like a 97% win rate. So I'm like, this is pointless. What am I doing?
DBG, have you seen a TheFlightMike 2K video?
Oh my god.
Not in the last 5 years.
But you've seen one in the past, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in those days, I was a fan.
Well, no, we're on the topic of 2K and the Flight. I was a fan too. That's actually crazy that you bring that up. I was a big fan of TheFlightMike. He used to style his 2K videos like Raves. I'd never seen anything like it. I guess that was kind of like the style back then. But if a TheFlightMike 2K video came on, you knew you were having a good time. That is classic.
I did the same thing. I did like a beat would drop when someone would make a dunk.
Yeah, you did, but you didn't do it like TheFlightMike.
Epilepsy
I
warning.
probably do as much.
His was dangerous. Like you should,
This is
he needed a
dangerous.
disclaimer before you watch the TheFlightMike
Yeah.
video.
I got comments
so
saying
funny.
that they seized from like some people with epilepsy
Oh
seized
my
from my
God.
videos.
Yeah, you know what? I actually had
You-
an editor that's really good that
You
put too many
guys
flashes in one of my
edited.
videos.
You guys actually edited. Man, I just gave up on all that. From the very
yeah.
start, I was like, you know what? I'm not good at editing. Let me just put in cuts of music.
Well, that's good though. You know your strengths, and I mean, it's worked. It's worked unbelievably for you.
Yeah, it's a pity 2K's dead. My team's dead right now. It is a pity.
I mean, what's it called? DBG. Before you came to LA in 2019, was it 2019? Yeah.
Yeah, summer 2019.
Did we meet at PAX East? I believe we met at PAX East, right?
No, we met. It's where I met all three of you guys. The fucking
Yeah,
NBA
yeah, I
Live.
remember.
NBA Live.
Oh, yeah.
NBA
NBA
Live,
event,
party.
bro. That was so
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Wait,
I
right
actually met
across from-
Korzimba there.
Bro, I remember
Yeah,
going up to
drinking-
Coop. I remember going up to Coop saying, "Dude, that's fucking Mike Korzimba, dude."
No
like, oh
way.
my god.
Get out
No,
of
I'm serious. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
I was
bro,
like,
dude,
oh, that's who that is? And I was like,
my
you're
God.
the NBA guy. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. And I kept walking.
Oh my god.
I was invited to that. So basically, the story goes was that I was in San Diego visiting my friends, and my dad and my sister were staying in LA. So I was like, you know what? If I go to LA, I have a hotel room. I woke up. I was on a beach drinking the night before. I woke up at like 6 a.m. Absolutely like still drunk, and I look at my phone and a text from Nick the Bulls fan. As I text him like the night before, drunk off my head, being like, "Oh, are you going to EA Play?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll be there." So I'm still drunk. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a train ticket to LA because I'm like, worst case scenario. Like I know I have a hotel room in LA, so it's not a big deal. So I get there. I'm dying hungover in the heat in LA, and I'm just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I can to get to that party. Managed to somehow get back to the hotel. Found Donnie. I was like, yeah, can I come? And then he made me show him my YouTube channel, and I had like 35,000 at the time. He was like, "Yeah, that's enough subscribers. You can come."
Yeah, so I wasn't actually invited to that party. Lost and Unbound got me in, pulled strings. And you could tell I wasn't invited by the tray I had. They were handing out food, and people were like serving stuff. I got everything on my plate. Like, you know, I made sure that I was getting my money's worth, even though...
Yeah, you.
Okay, yeah. This was on the rooftop thing, right? Like,
Yeah, that was a great party. That was great.
That was star-studded. Freaking iDubbbz was there. Who else was there?
Two of the side men were there.
Two of the side. Vic. I saw Vic.
Vic was there. I talked to Vic drunk for
Vic
about 20
was
minutes.
plastered.
Oh,
Like,
we were boating a horrible. We were
like,
boating off way. We were talking about mini
I've
golf for
never
20 minutes.
seen that was the only time I've ever seen Vic Star in my life in person. And I just like talked to him for a second, and he was so drunk that I couldn't like really talk to him. But it was funny.
So I think
We were just drunk.
I think TheFlightMike was actually in the tournament. Did you have a game that night, Mike?
No, I didn't have a game that night.
That tournament.
Oh,
It had one round happened, and then everyone just backed out.
how did you
I
do?
was in it.
How did you do?
I won, but it was only
won?
one game.
It was one game.
It was supposed to be an 8-game tournament. All right, guys. So what we're talking about fully, so NBA Live, when they were trying to basically relaunch and come back and compete with 2K, invited a bunch of influencers, YouTubers. I mean, I hate the word influencers, but YouTubers, people that make NBA 2K content to LA because they were trying to get all of us to play NBA Live. So they held this like really sick party that was on a rooftop that they invited a bunch of YouTubers that had nothing to do with the NBA there. There was rappers there. I forget what those guys' names are, but the song was.
Do you remember Ao and Teo? They started performing in the middle. Like, it wasn't like they were on a stage. It was like they just started performing live in the middle of the party.
Yeah. Because there was another one. There was another NBA Live event that happened in New York before that one, and they also performed there.
That was still the best YouTube event I've ever been at.
Yeah, same. Best YouTube event. I still think the most like life-changing YouTube event for me was when you came to LA in 2019. That like I think I tell you every single time I get an opportunity to tell you, like, dude, I was in freaking nursing school. You know, YouTube was like the last thing on my mind. Like, to give you an idea, like, I had just dropped out of my biomed program, and I was kind of depressed because I was like, you know, I'm like, dude, like, what the hell's my purpose? I've been trying YouTube for a decade. Nothing. You know, Coop knows the struggle because we've been in it together for a decade. I've been trying it. Nothing. And then you randomly hit me up saying, yeah, I'm were you in San Diego?
I was in San Diego, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna drive up to LA, and you come in, and we shoot this like collab where you clearly kick my ass in a 1v1, and then afterwards, like, I came in, did a live stream, and you were like, dude, you should, you know, like, I think you should go into NBA news. And then I think that night when you were about to leave, I had a date with some chick that like flaked.
The infamous, what was it? You tweeted out. It was Rachel versus Molly. It was Rachel Nichols versus Molly Karam. Which one was better? And you put that in your Instagram story as a question. And it just happened that the girl's name was Molly. And she thought she got so angry.
Oh, are you joking?
I'm serious. So like, this girl,
you just put like Rachel versus Molly, like you didn't put like names next to it.
I put like Molly versus Rachel, and I think I posted a picture of Rachel.
No. Mike is spinning the story. He compared them. You should be better than that, Mike. That's a good cop out,
like,
no, I'm joking.
I mean, like, I was just comparing them in terms of commentary, you know, like just posting a story, getting my engagement up a little bit, and the girl, and I think this was while I was streaming. Like, as I was streaming, I was like, guys, who do you prefer, Molly or Rachel? So, like, when you're streaming and you're posting a story, you're kind of like half-assing it, you know, you're not like fully engaged in your phone because like you're entertaining chat as well. And that the girl like replies to the story like, what the fuck is this? You know, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm talking about reporters. It's not you. She's like, like, and then she just blocks me, you know, like, as I'm on my way to, like, see her. So, like,
what? As you're on the way?
Yeah, as I'm on the way.
On the way, you got blocked.
He dropped me off. He dropped me off at In-N-Out because again, I'd never been to LA, so I didn't know what In-N-Out was like. So he dropped me off at In-N-Out. I was like, oh no, I'm going on my date, and then turns around and texts me like 10 minutes later. Goes, can you order me an In-N-Out burger? I'll come and meet with you for food.
And you were just like, you could have mine. It's shit.
Whoa. We're not getting into this. We're not getting into an In-N-Out debate right now, bro.
In-N-Out's trash.
To be fair, Mike, you got to look at it from her perspective, too. Imagine, you know, a girl you mess with posts like TheFlightMike or another commentator.
FlightMike or Flight Reacts, like
or Flight Reacts, like better flight, like, you know. So
yeah, I mean, like, I'm not a sociopath though. Like, I don't think any guy would do that. Like, hey, followers.
Did you meet her through Tinder?
No, I think I slid into her DMs and we hung out once, and like, you know, she was clearly extremely interested, like all over me the one time we hung out. So I was like, okay, for sure, I'll go hang out with this chick again. And this one thing, I guess, like, I don't know, it's also a testament to her, but like this one Molly or Rachel thing made her block me, and I like text DBG like, all right, yo, I'll come and meet up with you at In-N-Out. As I'm like, I sit down, have a conversation with him, and as I'm driving back, I don't know if it was before or after, but D'Angelo Russell announced that he was signing with the Golden State Warriors. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I have so much to say about this. And I recorded my first NBA news type video and uploaded it to YouTube. And it was like the first news video to take off as a result of this chick flaking on me as a result of the live stream where I said Molly or Rachel.
You got to see the robot in action that day. You got to see fucking me like die. I was like almost, because like, again, it doesn't get that hot in Ireland. And because like I'd only just got to San Diego at that stage, and basically the first time I'd been out for a long time during the day because I was working all the time, we decided to play basketball. So I was like half dying of heat exhaustion. So I could barely speak. I was dying in his room and still like barely able to function. One headphone in, editing a video.
Yeah, I was like streaming here, and the man was like back there, like editing a video on like 2 hours of sleep, like hungover. Like I've never seen a more robotic man in my entire life. I have no idea how you have that type of concentration.
Fear. When you know, like in my team, when you know that if you take a week off, someone else is taking all of your views. I don't have that many views to lose. If I lose 10% of my views, that's a lot of fucking money. I don't have that much to lose. I'm already down like 70%. I'm already down 50% on last year. It's just fear. It's fear that if I stop, someone else is going to take all the traction I have.
Well, also in terms of views, would you say that because of next gen and current gen that's hurting YouTube?
Not for,
or is that
not
just like more
team.
of like a park?
It does. My team it doesn't. But like my team, like I can't say my team was even bad last year. Like I got 8 million views in March, so like I can't, and like 7 million in July, so I can't really say it's that bad a thing. It's just my team kind of dies until the 99 overall cards come out because everyone knows that coming March, April is when all the 99s come out. So
it's kind of just it's like NBA offseason for us, like in a way, you know, like it's like for those 2 months, there's not much to do, but a longer stretch for you. You have
the biggest days though are in the off season.
No, I mean the NBA YouTuber off season, which is post free agency, post all that, where it's like then you get the occasional like Zion's really fat story. But that's kind of sorry, Coop. I'm sorry. It was the first thing on my mind.
Every podcast this gets brought up. Like, let me live.
Well, has he lost the weight yet?
He's working hard.
All right. Well, once he loses it, we won't mention
Zion
it.
is Sean Kemp. Like,
oh no.
Zion is just a modern day Sean Kemp.
Like in terms of gonna get fat and be done.
Yeah. By 30 years old, Zion.
How did we get here?
What
the hell's going on?
To be 300 plus pounds.
No, what just happened?
I was willing to let it go, but he kept going.
Well, I just want the podcast to know the latest updates on Zion have been somewhat positive, and he's working hard to lose the weight because of people.
That's been positive? Wait, what did you title your video? Hold on one second.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read the title of Coop's video for you guys.
That's what you call clickbait.
The Zion Williamson updates just keep getting worse.
Worse?
Yeah.
What was the original title of that video? Did you have a different one?
It was a Pelicans title. Title.
I know.
But people didn't care about the Pelicans. But the updates actually have been positive, FlightMike. You probably haven't seen the most recent one. Now, there is some negativity in the fact that it's taken this long. But reportedly, and this is enough positivity for me. This is all I really care about. I don't care about him returning this season. I don't care about none of that. I just care about him losing the weight. The Windhorse reported that he's working hard and he's trying to get back in playing shape. So, that's all.
He should have never let himself get into this shape.
Hey, man.
I know it's hard not to, but still, I wonder how many calories a day does it take for someone of Zion's size to put on weight?
Like 10K, 8K, at least 8, 6.
Everybody's different, no? So
he has to burn so many calories.
Yeah, exactly.
That he probably was just eating at the same rate that he was when he plays. Like he must eat a ridiculous, tremendous amount of calories, and adjust it.
His maintenance when he's playing is surely close to like 6,000-7,000 at least a day.
Yeah, but that title, they weren't listening to the positivity. So I was like, screw it. But yeah, it was a David Griffin video, and there was some Zion Williamson news in there. So I try to tie the title of David Griffin negative and Pelicans losing all in. It's a tough life, man.
Unfortunately, I will 100%. Unfortunately, like YouTube in general loves, when it comes to NBA and news, they love drama / negative news more than positive. So like if you were like Zion is looking great, it probably would do worse than Zion is 300 pounds and we all say that it's like, oh, it promotes negativity. But I say this, like I assume most people are the same. I would rather, like, if I see a video
showing how fat Zion's gotten. I might click on it. But I see a video being like, "Oh, Zion's got back in shape." I'm like, "Okay, good for him."
Yeah. And that was really honestly one of the biggest differences I would say from like old NBA YouTube when, you know, I first started to you know, new, is that like back then, like I would make videos like why Giannis will break the NBA while this. No one wants to listen anymore. Everyone's like, yeah, we get it. Like literally, like it's like why Ja Morant will, you know, take the next leap. It's no one cares.
It's why rebound is taken off. 10 times NBA players lost millions of fans. And it's a Photoshop thumbnail of LeBron James being arrested.
Oh, what a guy.
Like 20 things you didn't know about LaMelo Ball. Him with dentures.
Bro, the James Charles thumbnail.
James Charles with LeBron James.
So that sounds really funny.
Oh my god! Like this guy gets it. This guy gets it.
He's actually a very brilliant guy. Like we talk
100%.
YouTube. We talk YouTube strategy all the time, and he tells me that he pretty much studied Mr. Beast's content, like the way he retains the viewer, and applied it to basketball content. He makes an uber clickbaity thumbnail to boost his CTR, and he invested heavily in a writer that could write for retention. So he's crushing it. Like he told me he gets 80% retention on some of these videos, which I believe.
He doesn't write his own videos.
I don't. No, 80% retention. I don't believe that.
I mean,
so he's just the voice.
No.
I mean,
because there is at least in anything where it says 10 times, there is at least 20% of people just flick through everything. 80%. No, I don't believe that.
I mean, the views speak for themselves.
Oh, like he's killing it, but I just don't believe 80% retention.
Yeah, I don't believe that. 80% retention with like 5 million views. The more views you get, the lower retention. Your retention's gonna go down because you're now reaching a more general audience that doesn't follow.
I think he may have said 70, like near 70%.
Yeah,
like,
that's believable.
Like I have videos that like have, you know, taken off, and like before they took off they had great retention, and then they literally got to like 30% retention, but have like millions of views.
I hate seeing 30. We haven't seen it as much lately, but it kills me inside when I see 30.
I mean, on a podcast, it's going to be 30%.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, if you're releasing a 2-hour video, and you have a retention of, and it's a podcast thing, and you have a retention of even 20 minutes, that's good.
Yeah.
Because so many people are just going to skip to something that they like, a topic they're interested in.
DBG, you like played basketball throughout your entire life until a certain point, right?
I mean, I play low. I still play kind of low level at the minute, but
but like you played at like an extremely high level though, right?
As high as you can play here. I played in the top league in Ireland for a couple of years. I played with a lot of really good players, but like I was a role player. Can
you just talk about that maybe for a second? Because I'm personally interested. Like, what was your, you know, experience, and like how high did you reach?
Yeah, like I played for my national team at under 16s. We were actually
against.
Like, we got kicked out of the European Championships because Basketball Ireland owed FIBA money.
Really?
And they wouldn't pay it, so we got kicked out. But like we played in all the like preseason tournaments, and we would have actually been one of the best Irish teams ever at that level. But like we would have played like Belgium, UK, played Luxembourg a few times. So we played a lot of the decent countries in Europe. Like we didn't play the Spain's or any of those countries, but we played a lot of the kind of next tier of countries. And like we did all right. We were competitive in every game, and then I just stopped growing. So like I was like a 4 who was skilled. Like I was able to pass, dribble, shoot, and I could play at the 4. But I stopped growing like 6'1", 6'2". So it's like as we got older, like you're at 20 years old, you're not going to be able to play at the 4 at 6'2" at any sort of a decent level. So then, I kind of when I got to senior, I was still one of the better players in Ireland because we're not particularly tall. So like I played at like 18, 19. I played in like the top league in Ireland. Kind of like just had a roster spot, played a few minutes here and there. Trying to transition into becoming like a 2. And by the time that I got good enough to get minutes, YouTube took off. So I was like, I really don't want to play basketball 5 days a week. I just want to just do YouTube, and I could play at a slightly lower level and play twice a week.
Didn't you tell me you could beat me at basketball?
I don't think I did.
Okay, it wasn't you.
I know, I didn't tell you. I put you ahead of me. No, I said I could beat CashNasty and Jesser, and I stand by that. I put you. I was the only person who put you high.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Oh my!
I was the only person who put you in the top 5.
Yeah, I remember. I
remember
remember now. My bad, man. That list made me so mad.
You were put at. Some people put you below Mike Corzemba.
wait. Yeah,
Yo.
I would like to point out that first of all, I was way better at basketball than I am now. Put on a bunch of weight since then, and two, like when those lists were released, when everyone was doing that, multiple people's only experience of me playing basketball, like firsthand, like Cash, was I had literally had a concussion, like a serious concussion, to the point where my skull cracked and blood was on my brain, like about 2.5 months before. And this was my, I swear, first time running since that happened. I played with Cash and them in basketball. And I told them before, and I was like, dude, I just had a crazy concussion. I don't even know if I'm going to black out there. And they're all going, yeah, I played with Mike once. He wasn't that good. He was bad. I was bro, I had a concussion. I tried 2 months ago.
I tried to attempt to set up fake beef for Cash after that, because Cash reacted to it, and I put myself ahead of Cash.
Where did they put you on the list? Where did they put you?
Sorry?
Where were you?
They didn't put Cash got so angry. He started like full on like personal insults at me.
Oh snap.
And I'm like, what the hell is going? Like, obviously, like we all know that CashNasty and Cash the person are two completely different people. Like, we all know, like, we've all met Cash. He's one of the nicest people I ever meet. But like, I was just like, you know what? Because like, I do that before. I was like, you know, screw it. I'm going to try and leverage this into a 1v1 with Cash. But it's like, because I know I'm going to beat him. But like, at this stage, like, I was playing in the top league in Ireland. I was playing basketball 5 days a week. But it's like, I was one of those guys that even when I'm in shape, I don't look in shape. So it was like Cash being like, oh, this guy's out of shape. And if you're out of shape, there's something wrong with you mentally. And I'm just listening to this and I'm like, ka-ching, I can make a reaction video. He was like personal insults. I'm like, Jesus, he's gone very far with this.
Did you challenge him to a one-on-one?
Of course I did.
And
I was going to go to TwitchCon, where they were all going to go to in LA that year, 2017, and I ended up pulling out last minute. But I was going to literally call out Cash while I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and that was in the era where, do you remember the Cash versus Los one-on-one when Cash would just fell people? So I was just like, I literally said it, and I was like, in my video, I was like, this is what I'm going to do when I play against him. I'm going to stand there, jab step him, step back, wait for him to try push me, and then spin him and take a layup. Wait for him to put so much pressure on me and spin and take a layup.
You've got a platform now. Do you want to call him out?
You can shoot, so you're instantly like in the top 10 for any YouTube
yeah, I'm not,
list. Like,
I'm not doing that now. Like, there's no point doing that. First of all, like, I don't think anyone that would turn into a fight. Like, YouTube basketball has now turned into a YouTube fight
YouTube
with a bit of basketball. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's just like the Nick Briz crew. Like, I can't remember, they played like 2Hype, and I'm looking at this game and I'm like, this is a fight. Like, people are taking layups and they're being thrown into the stands. Like,
you know what?
Yeah.
A lot of pickup ball is like that now too, where guys are trying to be like Nick Briz, and they're trying to be like the people they see on YouTube, and it's really annoying. It's a lot of the younger generation. It's just annoying. Like, I just come to hoop. Like, I ain't trying to, like, I'm going home at the end of the day. I'm going to the crib. Ain't nobody going to the league after this. So,
yeah. And it's rough when someone gets in your face, because then it's like, all right, now am I just gonna like somehow like just ignore this, or now do I yell back? Like, yeah, like, you know,
people get so angry with me in America when I play pickup ball because I talk on defense, and that's like a foreign concept.
You know what? People got mad at me for setting screens. I kid you not.
Yeah, I'm talking on defense. Like, someone cuts, and I'll call a cutter. I'll call someone cutting.
Yeah,
and they will give out to me being like, no, just let us play. I'm like, just telling you, there's a cutter got to the basket.
Yeah, it's like whenever I go play pickup basketball or anything, like, I just have like good fundamentals with boxing out. So like, I'll just like basically shove someone out of the way, like, you know, like, who's bigger than me, and they'll be like, oh my god, you're so good at boxing out. I'm like, no, this is normal. Like, this is just what boxing out is.
Yeah, it was like, I'm that guy that looks awful in pickup, because I would be a guy that wouldn't turn the ball over in an entire game, would play solid but not exceptional defense, would average like 5 points, 5 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists a game, but play 37 minutes a game and just set a bunch of screens, hit people, and don't do anything wrong. Like, that was my role. And like, when I could play pickup with scrubs and look bad at basketball. Like, But like
Oh,
I've
yeah.
played
Yeah,
pickup
no, I
with
feel
10
you.
D1
Yeah, I
players.
feel that.
I played pickup with 10 D1 players, and I'm the worst player on the floor, but I haven't looked that out of place.
Caruso.
No, I mean you put Caruso in a pickup game, he drops 100.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously not
He
Caruso
means,
in
yeah.
a pickup game, but like
Yeah.
that's your role, Caruso.
Yeah.
No, I like to think I'd say to think the Boris Diaw role. The Boris Diaw for the Spurs role.
Okay. All right. Well, that feels good. Anyone else have anything to say? Questions? Anything?
Nah, man. Thank you so much for coming on, brother, and keep crushing it. Your success makes me really happy, by the way. Like, I'm always cheering you on from the stands.
Yeah, same to you. Like, again, the advice that I gave you, I've given to 100 people. You worked hard enough to make it a success out of it. Like, you did better than I could have ever done in that field. Like,
Hopefully we see you return to that field, man. It's really fun talking hoops with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks
I don't
for
watch
coming
them
on.
all.
Can you tell everyone where to find you?
Yeah, so DBG on YouTube. If you're a fan of NBA 2K MyTeam, you might see 4 to 5 videos a day. If you're not a fan of 2K MyTeam, yeah, it's probably best to give the channel a bit of a miss. But I might be back on B-Ball Daily at some stage. Some stage, maybe.
Okay, well, we'll make sure to link those and, the rest of your socials in the link below, guys. So definitely go check them out. Tell DBG we sent you. Show him some love. Follow him. And for sure, thanks for coming on, my man. And, maybe we'll, if you're down, we'd love to have you on later on in the season.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, awesome. All right, well, thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you subscribe. Turn on post notifications. You can find us, of course, on Spotify and Apple. And once we hit those 40,000 subscribers, guys, we're giving away a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. We want to give it to you. So 40,000 subscribers. Post notifications must be on. And the only thing I have to say is people are like, oh, do you even want a PS5 anymore? Last thing I saw, I don't even know if something's going on with Sony. So yeah, they're more in demand than ever. So bye.
If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.